Sorry, I'm like trying to shift y'all so you guys can see. You'll probably have to mute it when it comes up. Okay, it might just be delayed a second. If it doesn't pop up, let me know. Wow, I feel like we're very close. I'm gonna scooch y'all back a little. Hi, good morning. How are you guys? I see we've got 8 on so far. I know we're just getting on, but feel free to drop in the chat or in the comments where you guys are joining from. We're gonna play a quick keywords game this morning, and then I'm gonna let you guys ask me any questions that you guys may have. So I'm gonna give you guys a few minutes to hop on, and we will go from there. But I do have some cute items picked out for a keyword game today, and I'm really excited for the keyword game, and I know you guys like playing it, so I figured we'd do a few quick items today. I'm not gonna do very many. I figured I would just do about 3, and then we could go to some questions. So tell me where you guys are joining from this morning. Obviously, we're in Ohio, so welcome to Ohio, right? And then we'll go over those keywords, and then you can let us know about what questions that you guys have, and I will go over all of those. Okay, so feel free at any point to start dropping any questions that you have in the comments. Once we're done with the keyword game, I'm going to take you guys over to the computer, and then we will go over all of those questions. So good morning from Canada. RB, I will come back to your question about subscriptions, but yes, we can. Good morning, Joe from San Francisco, Chicago. Hi, Gigi. Good morning. That's one place I've never been, is Chicago. Always thought it sounded like a good place to be. And to be honest, most of my like crime TV shows are always in Chicago, and I just think it'd be fun to go to some of the places that I've seen on TV. So it's Monday. I'm telling you, I'm feeling it. Did yours wake up yet?
Yes.
Okay.
It's on.
I have a helper today. Our office assistant, she's hiding behind the scenes today.
Hi,
everyone. To read me your guys' questions. She has chosen not to be in our videos yet, but maybe eventually she will. And she's hiding behind the scenes. So y'all will probably hear her talking to me today, but you guys won't be able to see her. So
don't be scared of the mystery voice behind the camera.
The mystery voice behind the camera, she says. Cayley's on her way back from the beach right now. I'm kind of jealous, but I'm going to the beach on Thursday, so I'm really excited, and I can't wait to go to the beach. So trying to catch your comments as they're popping up. I know I missed a couple of where you guys were from, but it's nice to have you guys on here. Minneapolis, awesome. Good morning. Good morning. It's nice to see you guys dropping some comments already too, or questions already, because that'll give us some things to talk about when it comes time. What's the wizard's name? We call her Woman often. I don't remember what the other one we had was. It was something. Yeah, there was like, I called you Woman, but Wizard of Oz. That's good. We could call her Wizard of Oz. I finally set up lists perfectly in Posh VA, game changer. I used your codes. I think we got notifications on that. I got one this weekend that said that we had a new person who joined on Posh VA. I didn't open it, but I'm pretty sure it probably was you. Good morning from Florida. I wonder if you ran into Cayley. She was in Florida this week. She spent the weekend in Destin. I'm going to Myrtle Beach next week, and I'm really excited. It's a mother-daughter trip, so wish me luck. I'm leaving my kids at home. Let's hopefully my husband still has them alive when I come back. Okay, so I give you guys a few minutes. We have about 20-ish on right now, so we'll go ahead and get started. I brought some cute little items today. Cayley always picks the like Y2K stuff because that's like her specialty, but I like to pick the cute stuff. So you're not far from Destin. Yeah, she literally just left this morning, so she's on her way back now. But I was supposed to be on vacation today, but I decided I wanted to come in and do a live and spend some time getting some other things around the office fixed up before she came back. So that's why I decided to come in. So I'm off today, and I came to see you guys because I love you. I also wore this like really risky top. You can't see, but it's actually a crop top. I do not wear crop tops because I just don't feel comfortable, but I thought, it's vacation, wing it. So here we are. And also, if you guys just want a life update on me, my hair is leaving today. All of it. It's going to be gone. So next live we have, y'all will be missing that. So, okay. So we're going to get started. So this here is a Talbot's dress. we're going to again do keywords so you can kind of see the coloring on it. It has the reds, the blues, whites. It is a size 10. It is new with tags as well. How about if I turned it around for you? It is belted, so you guys can see that here. It does have some like pleating along the bottom, so you guys can kind of see what that looks like. Okay, so I'm gonna hang this up here on the board. Hopefully you guys can see that. Hopefully it doesn't erase my ink over there. And I want you guys to start shooting out some keywords that you would put in your title if you were listing. I don't know if you guys can see here or not, but it is button up. The entirety of the dress is button up. It is belted, just to kind of give you guys some ideas. Tessa is going to read me all your questions, all your comments from the background. Sailboat.
Nautical.
Sailboat. Nautical. I'm not spelling the whole thing. I'm abbreviating. What was the other ones?
Patriotic.
Yes. I liked that. I wasn't sure if you guys would put this as patriotic or not, because it's not like really red, white. I mean, it is red, white, blue, but it's not like starred. It's more of like a nautical theme. But I definitely think that that would be really important to put right now.
We've got sleeveless.
Yep.
Collared.
Yes.
And retro.
Tell me why retro. Whoever put retro, tell me why.
Sash. Trim. Shirt dress.
Mod, I'm assuming that's for modern. I would call this modern.
Self-tie. Got another retro.
You could do self-tie, or you could do tie in general. It could be kind of retro. I think a lot of like the waves in it do that, as well as like the pleating and the fact that it kind of gives you that like pinup vibe in a way. Yeah, like a mid-century modern, yeah. Can't forget button up. I always think that that tends to add value. You can't see these buttons from probably where you are, but these are like cloth buttons, and they're actually in the same cloth as what the dress is in, so they're definitely like a signature button.
Wendy says 50s housewife. Joe says 60s and 70s. I can see that.
So 50s, 60s, 70s. Yeah, housewife. That gives me that vibe. Who's that lady? I Love Lucy. That's what it kind of reminds me of, like shape-wise. You don't know who I Love Lucy? Oh my god!
I was born in 2001, guys.
2001. She's making me feel old. I won't even lie. I'm picking on her right now, but legitimately, when I hired her, I remember like I never ask age. This is not something I care about. And hands down, like she's top notch, best interview we had. But I remember like doing paperwork with her and looking at her driver's license, and it was still up and down, and I was like, oh my god, I'm old. I'm like the grandma of The Office. It's great. I'm really not that old, but I feel like it. So. Have any other ones? Abstract. I like that too. Yes.
V-neck.
Yeah.
Midi, fit, and flare.
I might call this more of like a knee length. It's kind of hard to tell. I think we'd have to see where it would measure, but I think it might hit, I don't know, somewhere between a midi and a knee length. It might be more of a midi. I'm not quite sure without doing the measurements on it yet. But yeah, that's huge. So one of the biggest things you want to use, obviously, all these other things are really important, but the biggest things you want to use are what's adding the value. So like when you're describing the item, what is it? It is sleeveless. It is a fit and flare. It is a midi. It is knee length, whatever one you want to use. It is button up. It is collared. So I would use those things first. Shirt, dress, it tells you a little bit more of what they're like. And then you can add the extra things like 50s, 60s, 70s, sailboat, nautical, patriotic. When you're talking about titles, at least. It is new with tags. Joe, funny you should say old. I'm right here, you know. I don't know how old any of you guys are, but I will tell you, I'm just being very open and honest today. I don't know why. I have this fear of 30. I turned 30 this year, and I'm having a really hard time with it. I know people say that like 30 is your best, 30s are your best run, but I'm getting to the point where like most of the people that I grew up with that are my age are just now starting to have children, and my children are almost 10 and 5. So I feel very old in the aspect that like both my kids are in school, and then most of my friends are having their first children or first child, or I guess multiples, but still that's difficult for me. So okay, I'm gonna stop a second and let you guys screenshot this if you want, or if you guys just want to read up on it, but just so you guys kind of have what that looks like, and then we'll switch to the next item.
I saw someone say summer for this one too.
Yeah, you could definitely do summer. You could do boat. We know we talked about sailboat or nautical. I think like ocean. You could even do like cocktail or like party. You could do USA. We've had on patriotic earlier. Okay. Bye-bye. Tell the beautiful dress bye. If this was my size, I would probably wear it. Cruise is good. Cruise is good. Yeah, I don't know what it is about 30 and 40, but I'm telling you. My husband turns 30 today. Today's his birthday. And I wasn't even allowed to tell him happy birthday before he left the house this morning because he's so salty about it. So, okay. Next one. One of my favorite brands to find because it's easy to find and I kind of like the trend that they have. The style that they have. This is a Knox Rose women's size large dress. It is new with tags. Ta-da! It is shorter than the other one. Show you that. It does have like a florally print to it. It is tiered. Just kind of show you guys what it looks like. I'll hang it here. And when you guys are ready, go.
Prairie.
Yes!
The first one that popped up.
I love that.
Don't have any others yet. Oh, boho.
Yours
floral,
is always a little delayed.
log and look. Round neck. Half sleeve. Mini slouchy. Casual, comfy, loose, tiered.
Hold on a second. Okay, sorry.
Oh, you're good. That's it for
Okay.
now. Let's see.
I don't know if I would go.
Flowy.
I don't know if I would go with log and look, only because when I think log and look, I think of something that's more like a casual or like a basic color. But I definitely think the style of the dress is like a log and look, which is pretty spot on with that. I don't know if I would say that because of the print, but very close. This also, you can't tell right here, has eyelets across the front, so you could put eyelets in here.
We've got baby doll,
Yeah, it does remind me of a baby doll.
festival and concert,
Yes.
Coachella.
Yeah.
Cottage garden party.
Oh,
That's cute. I like that one.
I forgot what I was writing. Whoever put garden party got me so
That is so cute.
flustered that I lost. I think it was cocktail. I like the cheer. What'd you say?
Hippie,
Hippie?
gypsy, western, keyhole back.
I can't spell gypsy apparently. I forgot the P. What'd you say?
Hippie, gypsy, western, and then keyhole back.
Yeah, you're right. It is keyhole. Yep. I think this was. I like this hippie, gypsy. We could do, you have boho, you could still do bohemian. Cocktail garden party was really good. Like, that's not one I would think of often, but I definitely really liked that. The other ones you guys have come up with? Too many words at once. I know. It was quick. You guys did this one really, really fast. I liked it. I would call this like a mini. It is half sleeve. I think that also adds some value. I like the cottage that was down here. Maybe I didn't write it on here, but somebody said cottage. Maybe I skipped that one. I like that it's very like modern, where it's higher necked. We could do modest for that. It kind of reminds me of like country. I could see a woman wearing this with like a nice pair of like black or brown cowboy boots. Free flowing, summer. That's supposed to say summer. Y'all probably can't read that. That was good. That one was quick. Dresses are one of my favorite things to find, especially in summer, because they add so much value depending on length. Feminine would be good. You could do girly, feminine, flowy, floral, ethereal. I like all those. Okay, I'm going to let you guys screenshot this. I'll put this next to it so y'all can have this as your idea. I almost stuck the hanger in the light in the outlet. You all would have had a live video of me getting electrocuted. Okay. One last one. I wanted to do something that was a little bit more plain Jane, just because I know from working with our employees as time goes by that like sometimes the most difficult ones are the easiest ones. When I say easiest ones, I mean the most like plain Jane everyday. It's really easy when you have something that's kind of wacky or like odd to come up with keywords, but it's these like everyday items that I think are difficult because you want to do basic or casual or yeah, jeans are hardest for sure. Like I struggled with those for a while, and there's still things I struggle. I want to put basic or ethereal. Yeah, I don't use that word often, obviously. Thanks, Joe. You might English. You might. What?
Ethereal, I think.
Ethereal? I don't know. I don't use that word often. I type it all the time because I use it. But jeans, I feel like, are one of those harder things, or like a basic t-shirt are a little bit more difficult, especially when they don't have like a graphic on them. So we're going to do a pair of jeans because I think that this is a good kind of perk for everybody. So these are BKE men's jeans. These are Tyler's. They are straight leg. You can see they do have kind of embroidered pockets. These are a size 30 regular. I'm going to hang them up right here and let you guys hit me with what you have.
Straight leg.
Yeah.
High rise. Mid wash.
Okay.
5 pocket.
Okay.
Whiskered. Faded. Contrast stitching. Embroidered. Oh, I pronounced ethereal correctly? That's good.
Ethereal word of the day. Hey, oh my gosh. I got news for you. I got to remember. I'm going to write it on my hand. Okay. I have some exciting news. I just remembered I was supposed to tell you today from Cayley. So straight leg, high rise, mid wash. I don't hear anybody else pipe it up other than Joe. So it tells me that some of you guys are struggling with this as well. So give me things that you guys would use or that you're questionable about. Because obviously, like, I don't want to do this for you and you guys not see results or not see benefit from this. So if you have something that you would use, let me know. I always use denim. Yeah, you could always use denim. use what it's made of. I even still use the color because sometimes jeans are black, sometimes they're blue, sometimes they're like colored. Anymore, they have tie-dye ones. So I try to use the color in them too. I like that they're faded. I don't know what I would say embroidered per se. Maybe because of the pocket, but I definitely like this contrast stitch. But embroidered, I think of like a floral embroidered down the pocket, but you still could. Belt loops, relaxed.
Someone said Western.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah, so if you pay attention to a lot of like Western movies, they'll have like thick pockets like these. Rodeo would be good. I put country on here too. If you guys end up selling like Wranglers, I know we've talked about this before. If you see something that's like part of a show, make sure you're including it. So like I spent my weekend being a lazy bum and watching Yellowstone for like the 500th time. My son is obsessed with it. He asks me all the time if he can be a cowboy for the day. So we watch it and like literally my husband's like, what are those jeans? I like those. And I was like, those are Wranglers. He's like, no. I'm like, yeah, they are. Look at the pockets. So you could tell by the pockets. So like if these were a pair of Wranglers, you could put Yellowstone in those. And I would definitely exploit stuff like that. We had a Dickies coat that literally looked like the exact same coat that Rip wears in Yellowstone. We ended up selling this coat that probably paid brand new for like, I don't know, maybe $60, $70. We sold it for like $150 because it was literally black. It was like rugged, just like Rip's was. So, and we literally put Yellowstone, like Rip Wheeler, and it sold really quick. So, I missed a couple. Sorry.
We've got classic and rugged. And then Joe asked, what is whiskering? And that's a good question because I don't know either.
So, from my understanding, and I could be wrong, but I think whoever put whiskering can tell me. I think it has to do with these up here at the top. Y'all can tell me if I'm wrong. Yes, yeah. Joe, if you have not started watching Yellowstone, you need to. Like, it's...
Yeah, Isabella says whiskering is the light line looking things on the crotch area.
Yes. Yep. So I always think of them like, I don't know, I guess I just assumed I was right in that, but you can always include that. So I would not say boot cut because these are listed as straight leg. However, rodeo I would say would fit because of like the bling pockets on the back. So anytime you have any like blinged out pockets or like embroidered pockets, I think you could put rodeo. If you think about like rodeo, they're gonna wear some like really bright bling jeans, so when they're riding, a lot of times you'll see them wear like massive like belt buckles and stuff too to draw the eye. So I would definitely do it. I jumped on but then my husband got so into it. Oh, I missed that. He left me in the dust. Yeah, we like watched it. I only have a few subscriptions, no cable. It is on Paramount Plus. Or Peacock, I think, is what it's on. I ended up literally downloading Peacock just to watch Yellowstone because my parents watched it for a really long time, and my dad, like, loves cowboy stuff, so he was talking about it, and I was like, I've watched so many John Wayne movies that, like, I'm good. And then it's really good. It's like, I don't know. It's almost like a country mafia, in my opinion, and I really like it. Yeah, you could do something about the leather tag. And I would definitely go with the ones that we had here. Whiskered, somebody mentioned that they're also on the back of the leg sometimes, and you can see that they are here. One word these I would not use for these, but you can always really use is distressed. This would be a distressed washed. Andrea commented on that. Thick stitch is good. I would not call these distressed, just plain distressed, but you could do distressed washed. Apparently I wanted to leave a number or a letter out. What was after her comment was distressed?
Thick stitch, she said.
I don't think I put that on here. We put contrast. but distressing is huge because that typically adds value. I don't know how to explain it, Joe. I just humor me and watch it. I don't like mafia stuff either. Like, I wouldn't want to watch it, but like, I don't know. It's very just like realistic, and it's about like the world changing, and essentially they're like trying to keep the world the exact same, and they're like struggling to do it, and they're trying to protect their ranch, but like everybody keeps coming after their ranch, and there's a lot of like violence in it, so I'm not gonna lie there, but essentially it's just like olden days where like people have things that they're trying to like sustain and fight against like industrialism, and they're trying to take over their land to build like an airport and a ski resort, and they're just trying to like protect their land. So I thought it was really cool, only because I'm kind of dealing with the same thing right now with my parents, where people are encroaching on their property, and it's making me really grumpy. So I watch Yellowstone to like live out my fantasies of being able to take out the people who are doing things they shouldn't. But you know, I'm not allowed to do that in real life, so I just watch Yellowstone instead and pretend that we can take everybody to the train station. Okay, we got really derailed with Yellowstone, but I can tell a lot of you like it, and I really enjoy it too. So these are what I would use for these. I'll let you guys screenshot that. Then we're going to move over to the table where you guys can ask me any questions that you guys have. I'm going to have my assistant drop my laptop off over there, and then once she's out of the way, I'll move around so I don't end up catching her, and we will go from there. But I'll answer all of your questions. So go through and drop all of your questions that you guys have. I'm going to go back from the very beginning and touch on everything you guys have talked about, and we'll kind of go over everything. Like I said, I'm off today, so I don't have a whole lot to do today. I'm like waiting to go shopping for my vacation trip, so I've got some time to spend with you guys today, and we will go over some stuff. Y'all are going to get really like rocky for a second while I shift you guys around, so sorry. I'm trying to also make sure that I don't catch our assistant over here. Whoop. Look how pretty this is. We're reorganizing, if y'all can't tell. I gotta drop you guys down like 15 notches. Hopefully that works. We're gonna give it a good old college try. It's perfect. Okay. Oh, wow. So great to see you guys again. I missed you. Like I didn't just see you 2 seconds ago. Okay, so I just scrolled all the way back up to the very top. So drop all your comments, questions, concerns, complaints, outrages in... Not outrages. I've seen enough of outrages from people lately. So just comments. Thanks. It's like a grayish blue on white. I don't know. Like I said, it's very like risky for me. It's like very cropped, which I do not wear. Here's some whiskered pants. But I really liked it. So okay, I started at the top. Can you do a video on the benefits of a store subscription? We can definitely do a video on store subscriptions for sure. I know in one of the recent closet reviews we just did, we did like a brief breakdown on store reviews and kind of not store reviews, on store subscriptions and how that works. I know she has an older version, but I think a lot of those like arrangements have changed, or a lot of like the perks for those have changed. So I will definitely mention to Cayley that maybe this week we can go through and do a new video on the benefits of a store subscription. It does depend on how many items you have in your store currently. Sometimes it's worth it, but I think even the smallest store is worth it because you do get, I guess, some perks. There's a lot of like discounts on buying it, but I don't know. So let's see. So we have where people are from. No flaws. Gigi, you're right. She like got me last time on the flaws. She was going. I would like a tour of eBay reports and info available about tax info on eBay. How to use. So Cayley and I've mentioned this a lot of times. We are not going to do a video specifically on taxes because there's a lot of liability in that. We do our taxes in the best way that we think fits with us. We can definitely do like a bookkeeping video on like how we keep track of cost of goods and how we keep track of like spending, essentially like expenses. But as far as like how you enter that into your taxes, like that's going to be up to you guys, because it all depends on which way you file your taxes, if you're filing like joint, if you're filing single, and a lot of that changes. But essentially we can do a video on bookkeeping. We keep all of our receipts for everything, and I would be so glad to go over some of that stuff with you and how we keep track of it. But essentially we have a spreadsheet that we just enter everything into, and then when it comes to tax time we just kind of populate those numbers into the tax companies. But it's kind of like a gray chambray. Yes, sorry, I'm really behind because I'm like at the top of comments, so if y'all are leaving new comments I might not see them for a minute. After you guys take photos and upload to eBay or Posh, do you delete them? What do you do in case they are corrupted or erased? Do you have backups? So Isabella, after we take photos, we upload those to eBay. We do delete them. We have found that things do not get corrupt unless they've been on eBay longer than about 2.5 weeks. It seems like once they hit that 3-week period, they get knocked off or they may become corrupt. At that point, we have to just redo them. We do have a trash folder on the phone that we can go back and pull into. And occasionally we do that if we still have them, but otherwise we would just throw it back in and do it again. But when I say that it happens, we probably only have maybe like one every like 3 or 4 months that does that. So I wouldn't see a whole lot of that happening. Now, I can tell you in the last like 3 weeks, I've had 2 items that were obviously in drafts at some point. We did photos of. I can't find the draft or the photo, and I don't know what happened. I had one like maybe like 2 or 3 weeks ago, but it was in like a ginormous patch of like Lucky Brand tops, and I think we might have just gotten one confused or thought we photoed it when we didn't, and I was pretty sure on that. The other one we had was a pair of Prana pants. We hit the jackpot this week on Prana. There was like a mass donation of Prana across like all the Goodwills around our area. And it was definitely an issue. But as far as like drafts or photos, we don't really have any issues with those going corrupt as far as what I've seen. I've had one since we switched back to eBay months ago that I think has gone corrupt, and all I had to do was copy that listing again, and then I just like created a copy and I listed that one and it was perfectly fine, and I just deleted the old one. So sometimes we get lucky. But let's see, not far from Destin, good morning. Myrtle Beach, yeah, Joe, I'm cutting it all off. I've been really sad, but I donate my hair every year to make wigs for cancer patients, and I decided I was going to do it. My aunt just got diagnosed, and I think it's time to do it again, so we roll with it. I know summer slowdown is a thing, but I recently switched over to sourcing more substantial pieces. So far, I've been dry for 3 weeks. It's been really hard. So we've been kind of running through some dry times. I don't want to say dry because it's not like in comparison, but we've been running through some times that have seemed a little bit slower, but we've also had a lot going on. So Cayley and I feel like this year for us has just been really crazy for both of us. She's had some personal stuff going on, so have I. We've both taken off a little bit more time than I think we had intended on. And obviously we hired somebody new and so on and so forth. But we have been kind of going through some funk there. And we got a little bit behind on like cross-posting to Poshmark. It's kind of a when we have time, not an everyday thing right now. And we've noticed it seems like our Posh sales have dropped a little bit in turns for that. Now I go through phases where I'll literally cross post like 300 items in a day, and then like a few days later I'll see an increase again. But I can tell you that there definitely seems to be a little bit more of a slowdown. because of that. Isabella, talking about substantial pieces. So far I've been, you've been dry for a couple of weeks. You might see that. So if you think about it, it's a lot easier for people to go online and buy a $14, $20, $25 item. But if you think about it, people who are spending $100 might think on that purchase just a little bit more than what they would if it's only $10 to $15. But you're getting more value. So you don't have to sell as many items to make as much money. So if you're typically selling, say, 10 items and you're getting $10 profit on each one, you have to sell 10 items for each one of those ones that you sell. So don't get too discouraged. Stick with it. Keep rolling. I'm a firm believer. Cayley and I have this debate often that if I see something that's like a lower price, I might go ahead and pick it up anyways. If I've already got it, it's in my hand, and I know I'm going to sell it, I'm not going to put it back because I'm getting more substantial pieces. I'm still going to get it and list it. But definitely something that we kind of debate on. But I do think that you have more time to sell on those other things. You don't have to have as much of an increase in sales because you're selling higher priced items when you're doing so. It's hard because we did all this. This is fun. Tiffany, I'm glad you like the keywords game. We're trying to do them like once a month just to kind of give you guys something to do and interact. A lot of my old inventory, which I'm trying to get rid of, I've been sending 20% off offers but haven't gotten anything. I'm running out of room. If something isn't moving, how far do you go down with your offers? So we've mentioned our discount strategy. Our discount strategy, we mark things down after they've been with us for 90 days. We mark them down 10%. Once we get to the next month and the next wave of marking things down, then we're going to go back again. Anything that's 90 days or older, we're going to mark it down another 10%. And we consistently do that until they're gone. Some things could be 10%, some things could be 5% if we decide that maybe we didn't want to mark it completely 10. Some things could be 20, 25, 30. It just depends on how long they've been sitting. But most times I think we only have to mark it down once or twice for it to sell and to get rid of it. Good morning from Georgia. Good morning. Joe, I'm sorry that I said I was old. I don't know what it is about 30 and 40 either, but it definitely is a trigger for me. 30 was yours too. Yeah, I think it'll go away. I think my biggest thing is I turn 30 and then my daughter turns 10 and my son turns 5 and starts preschool. Like all like the major milestones that I feel like I've been dreading in my life are coming all in the same year. So Cruise was very good on that. Reminds me of a heroine Hitchcock movie like Kim Novak or Grace Kelly. Prairie. Okay. Let's see what else. What other questions? Y'all got so many of these ones on those jeans. Oh, news! It's news time. Tell us the news. Yes. So Cayley and I have really been talking about ways that we would eventually be able to run paths with you guys and interact with you guys, and doing so in like a safe manner where we felt secure in doing so. And we made the decision that we are going to go to Posh Fest this year. We bought tickets. We will be in Texas at Posh Fest. I think it's like the last week in September, and I'm really excited that we're going. So we're hopeful that some of you guys will be able to go and that we'll be able to interact with you guys as well. We will be there, I think, for like 3 or 4 days. 4 days, I think. We're flying in early on the day before Posh Fest, so it may give us an opportunity to kind of run into some of you guys and interact with you guys and meet some of you guys face to face. We're really excited to go. We debated whether or not to go or not, but we thought it would give us a good opportunity to cross paths with some of you guys if you guys were going. So definitely, like, as we get closer to September, let us know if you guys are going, because it'd be nice to be able to like meet up with you guys. We are planning on, like I said, obviously staying since it's in Texas and it's really far away. So maybe we could all get together and have drinks or dinner or something together and meet some of you guys face to face, because I love face to face interaction. It makes my heart happy. So it'd be really nice to be able to like put faces to some of your guys' usernames and see you guys in person. So let us know if you're going, because I would really like to see you guys. I'm trying to see if there's any other questions on here. I like taking the bad guys out. Yes. Would you be able to spend a couple minutes on aesthetics? I've binged Cayley's videos, but I'd love more info or recent stuff. Isabella, what are you specifically looking for as far as aesthetics? When you say you'd like info on aesthetics, what are you looking for in general? You guys are so nice. I'm so glad you guys. Okay, I'm not even gonna lie. It feels like an online class. That's great. I love that you guys were so sweet to me today because I like almost took the shirt off like 3 times. I almost wore a Yellowstone shirt, but I didn't. So, are you talking about aesthetic styles like cottage core and granny core goes well with you? Thank you. You guys are great. Been selling casually for 20 years, but 2022 is my first year running it as a business. Is this a normal summer slowdown we're having? I've heard about it, but have nothing to compare. So yeah, Angela, we've been, last year, summer slowdown for us was a lot slower. We're still shipping about 30-ish a day, 30 to 50-ish, depending on the day. Which is still way more than what we had going on last summer, but we've also increased a lot of our listings. We made the decision to increase our listings just before summer with intentions of hoping that if we increased listings, that we would kind of combat some of that summer slowdown. We'd be listing more, so we'd still be selling more. A lot of what we're selling, though, are those items that we're marking down, that we've had in inventory for too long. We have gone over 5,000 listings. We're really excited about that. But we are also trying to clear out some of the other things that we aren't using. We use summer slowdown time to do inventory and to get things ready or organized where we wouldn't normally have time. But I would say that this is a pretty slow, like summer slowdown typically. For us, we went through a pretty long phase where nothing really decreased or nothing went away. And then now it seems like it's slowing down. But again, it could have some of that to do with us not cross-posting to Poshmark as much or not getting things moved as quickly over as what we were in the past. So it's kind of hard for me to judge, but I don't know. I think it's pretty normal. You guys maybe in the comments can help Angela as well if it feels like this summer slowdown is normal for you. I definitely think reselling is like taking a big change right now. I can see an increase just because like things are getting really expensive. Like more people I think are having to go a little bit more frugal than what they typically were because the prices of a lot of like new things are outrageous right now. So if you think about that, I think a lot more people are buying online because they know they can get it a little bit cheaper. So I think reselling is really going to come back. Plus, vintage things are really making a comeback. Like, a lot of the older styles are coming back. And people would prefer to have something that's legitimate vintage than just buying something that's brand new. So, apparently, Gigi, Cayley was at the beach. She's coming back today. She'll be back tomorrow. Good morning, Patchwork Vintage Co. She's coming back tomorrow to work, and then I am leaving from today through next Monday, but I will probably be in. I won't be on next Monday live probably. I think Cayley will be here, so I will probably not be here, but she is coming back from the beach today. She's currently driving back from Florida. Apparently, so it's pretty grim. Hey, I've been listing more and sales are just starting to pick up, knock on wood. Good job. Glad it's working. Yeah, the biggest thing is staying the course. That's like my trademark name. Ironically, I say that. So I told Cayley for Posh Fest, I'm going to wear a shirt that says #substantial and put like at Cayley Elaine at the bottom just to be a smart aleck. And she's not keen on it at all, but I told her we should get matching shirts and she could wear one that says stay the course with mine on it because that's what I say all the time. But ultimately, the biggest thing is that even when things are getting a little bit grim or you're selling less or you're not seeing the results you're looking for, don't make immediate changes. It's like trying to lose weight. So if you eat a banana one day and you're like, oh, I'm eating healthy. Well, you're not going to lose 15 pounds in one day because you ate a banana. Like you have to keep following the trend because the more you follow that trend, the more results you're going to see. Same thing happens for reselling. So don't throw in the towel, give up. it's a difficult time right now. Focus on reducing your processes, lessen like the amount of extra steps you're taking while you have time to work on efficiencies. And then when this fall time hits, I think everybody's going to see a huge increase in business, in my personal opinion, just because I think that it will help with one, having more categories to shop beyond just like shorts, jeans, dresses. You'll have coats, you'll have jackets, you'll have sweaters. Those are all coming back. But I think more people will start buying for holidays and things like that as well. I have a dress to list just like what you're wearing. Would you call that gray, a gray chambray kind of? This is almost like linen-y. I honestly didn't look at the material. It's not. It's a cotton. It's a cotton blend. But I would call it very like, you could do nautical linden. You could do maybe like summer if it has like the same top, beachy. You could do a tie if it has the same tie at the top. You could do flowy, lightweight. Those would all be good. Yes, Joe, we could definitely do one on reports. Video on reports, where to find them and kind of walking them through. Let me just open up a thing right quick so that I can make myself a list of the things that you guys were looking for. So we said reports. You guys wanted one on, it's loading. Reports, and then how to find them. You wanted one on the sale or the store category, store items, store options, I guess. Pros and cons on each one. Let me know if there's other videos you guys wanted specifically that I forgot about already, and I will type them on here. Do you use % sign in title? Oh, do you use sign in title listing for linen or just linen? I'm not sure what you're asking, one busy mama to you. Do you use sign in title listing for linen or just linen? Let me know what you mean, because I'm confused. I can't populate what I can't find. That is true. So Joe, I get it. You can't populate it if you don't know what it is. So I'll see if Cayley can do a video specifically on reports. I'm not going to commit to doing it myself because I don't know what I'm doing with reports, but she could definitely walk you through that. And I definitely know a lot of people have been asking about how to find those reports, so we can definitely do a video on reports. Posting a video of tracking expenses would be great. Let me put that on here. We'll do tracking expenses and spreadsheets. This is so good. Okay. The announcement, you guys got the announcement. Oh, I got you. Okay, don't put the symbols in. I got you. When you use % sign in title listing for, I thought that was just a mess up. I don't know why that just didn't happen. I would just use linen blend. So like I would do, the only time I'll do like a percentage with the % sign is if it was like 100% cashmere, or like something along those lines. But like most times you don't need it, or 100% silk. Occasionally I will, but most times I just put silk. I would include that in your description or include a photo of it. Because I definitely think that it's important, but I don't know that it's important enough to put in your title. I would put like a linen blend. If it's linen and cotton, I wouldn't do linen cotton blend. I would just do linen blend. If it's like a silk blend and it's silk and cotton, again, I wouldn't use cotton. The only time I use cotton is if it's Supima cotton, or if, what was the other one we used? Organic cotton. I don't know why that wasn't coming to me, but I don't typically use cotton there because I think it's a waste of time, waste of characters. But you would definitely, you could if you chose to. I do not. I would put that in my description and put like 100% linen, or use that in the drop down box, because sometimes it will give you a chance for like 100% cotton or 100% silk or 100% linen. I would use it there, but I would not put it in your title. She is returning from Florida from a quick vacation. I'm glad that you've donated your hair too. I've had this hair for 5 years. Like my son is almost 5 and I literally haven't cut it since then. COVID came and I wasn't going to the hair salon, so cross-posting on other platforms sometimes gets me. Oh, so awesome you donate your hair. Beautiful hair. My daughter just donated her hair. Oh, that's so exciting. I'm glad. It's nice to know that people can step out of their way to do nice things for other people because I think the world needs that now. It's funny, cross-posting on other platforms gets me an increase in eBay sales. I don't know why, but that's legitimately a thing. Like, I swear when I cross-post, it's like eBay knows that I'm, like, outsourcing my items. And they're like, if we can sell it here faster, then it's good. I know that's not legitimately a thing, but I do believe that there's, like, a subconscious thing that goes on back there that makes people buy them on eBay when I cross-post them over. I like that you have to sit on the higher-priced items. Oh, yeah, I like that. You have to sit on the higher priced items. Thank you. It is true. And, like, I battle with that sometimes, but, like, we had a vintage, I don't remember what it was. It was a vintage t-shirt we found at the bins. We sold it for, like, $350. It might have been a Metallica t-shirt. I can't really remember. But, like, we might have had it for, like, a month, but we sold it for $350. And, like, I would have had to have sold so many more items to reach that profit, where I might have had to wait on that for a month. I made profit on it. So don't freak out if it takes you a little bit longer. I end up with lower price items because I buy auctions a lot. I don't mind the bread and butter, but I've raised my average sale price over the past few months and I'm getting higher average profits. That's really good. We have been selling, like I said, a lot of like discounted items. So our ASP has dropped a little bit. Typically it's between $35 and $40. It's probably more like $30 now if I had to guess, maybe even $25, just because we're clearing out a lot of things. But that happens a lot of time in summer. It's not abnormal for your ASP to drop a little bit during summertime because you're not making as much on shorts. You're not making as much on, dresses you probably would, but like there's some tops that you're picking up, linen items you might not be selling as high price as what you could be selling other items for. So don't focus too much on ASP as far as like an average. Focus on making sure that you're making enough profit when you're picking them up and you're not overpaying and making less. But ultimately, you're going to see a huge increase when winter times comes and you're getting cashmere and you're getting sweaters and coats and jackets and things like that. You might be paying a little bit more for them, but you're going to have so much more profit coming from those that your ASP is going to significantly increase during the winter months. So don't get too hung up on that, but definitely I think you guys will see an increase on that as well. Liz, I'm glad you could join it. I have a boho maxi dress from a resale shop. Feels great. Rayon, possibly. Cotton blend, possibly. No comps. Can I list it? It has French seams, hem, and neck embroidery. It's great. It's a great piece. Thanks. Absolutely. If you have it, list it. List it. Use some good keywords. See if you can find anything in that brand that's sold, or like if you can't find anything in that brand that's sold, see if you can find any dresses that are very similar that have sold, that you can get maybe some extra ideas. But it sounds like a pretty new option, or a pretty good idea, pretty good item that you could list. So fun. That's great. I doubt I'll be able to go because I'm not sure where I will be in my husband's rehab, but if I can go, I'd love to come. Joe, if you make it, let us know. We'd be glad to see you. That would be nice to see you. I have tons of likes, like 30 on an item, not offers. How do you convert likes to sales? Honestly, we don't pay attention to likes at all. I know that sounds really bad, and a lot of people do. We do not. If you are seeing maybe a lot of likes in an item, maybe check your pricing on that. It definitely seems like they definitely have interest in the item per se. Maybe it's priced too high. You could also check your listing and see if maybe there's like a discrepancy in there where they aren't sure about a photo. Is there a photo that maybe looks like it has a stain on it that isn't a stain, it's like a photo issue? Is it like a discrepancy in the title says it's an extra large, but the tag says it's a large? Sometimes we find things like that we've just like made an honest mistake in the listing, and it causes some confusion, so they like it kind of waiting for it to clear up, and when it doesn't, they just kind of leave that like there. But I wouldn't overthink it too much, just because it could just be an honest fluke about it. I would check it just to be safe, but I wouldn't think too much about likes on items, Nancy. I would say really just focus on staying the course, doing the best listings that you can. Maybe cross post the item and see what you can come up with. But I wouldn't worry too much about it. So on aesthetic questions, I live in a province where there are tons of vintage stuff. I know I'm not going to be finding Jimmy Choo or Lucky. So vintage stuff, I would say it depends on exactly what it is. Vintage stuff is really cool. Like, it's honestly making a comeback. A lot of people want to wear like the older styles. So obviously using things like vintage, Y2K, retro, those are really important to use. Looking for like single stitch. Is it single stitched? Is it not? Obviously you want to use the word vintage when possible, if it is indeed vintage. We look for a lot of like band tees can be really big. Anything honestly with dating is huge. Pretty much anything that has like vintage that has dating, you probably could sell. You might only be able to sell it for like $25 to $30, but like we pick up like vintage NASCAR shirts and like we might only sell them for like $25 to $30, but if it's something that has a decent amount of following behind it, I would say it's worth risking picking it up, because you know that there's got to be a following behind it. Now, if it's something you've never heard of by any means, you might want to kind of weigh those options a little bit. But things like NASCAR, a lot of bands that you're seeing could be worth picking up. We've even picked up some like vintage like Smoky Mountain or like National Park t-shirts at like the bins where we've gotten them cheap enough. Keyword, they have to be cheap enough. And those have sold for like $25 to $35 for just something that's vintage. If you find somebody who like maybe used to go to the Smoky Mountains and really enjoyed going there, or like went there in 92, well, maybe they want a shirt from 92. And we've been able to sell a lot of those. So I would focus on dating. I would focus on sizing. I would focus on the following behind an item and see if that helps you with determining what to pick up as far as vintage. We do not run across Jimmy Choo like ever. Most of what we get tends to be bread and butter stuff. Occasionally we come across some like really high end, really unique items, but honestly, like, I don't even know those brands. I know that sounds horrible, but I like live in a very rural area and I like never grew up with any of those like $1,000 items. Like, I literally just wing it, go in and I do comps and I see what happens. I look mostly for factors on items, using Cayley's word, the substantial factors, and just see kind of what happens and see if they comp well or not. Sometimes we comp things and we're like, oh, this has got to be trash, and it's like really good. So the best thing you can do if you're unsure, Isabella, is just to go in and comp items and see what you come out with. Vintage is harder because they are typically rarer to find, but it's still essentially the same function. Carrie, new to Poshmark, but I've had some sales. Is it worth to offer reduced shipping? We do not typically offer reduced shipping on Poshmark, only because, I mean, we do originally. So if somebody likes an item, we have Posher VA that sends out like a 10% offer, and they will do like 10% in discounted shipping. Most times people counter, and then we don't offer shipping again after that. We won't typically offer somebody discounted shipping unless it's that first original like Posher VA, then we would, but not typically. I'm going to pick on you, Joe. I don't even know what Music Man era is, so I can't take offense to that because I don't even know what it is. But I wouldn't have taken offense to it anyways. Ice Cream Shop is a good one. You can pick up. I don't offer upfront reduced shipping on my items, but I do always send a shipping discount of $1.72, $5.99 shipping for buyers on offers. That's a good idea, Bugsy. I like that. Yes, One Busy Mama. Don't forget to hit the like button. I appreciate you guys. shouting that out for me. It is a free way for you to support Cayley's channel. I know I'm not as lively as what she is. It's really hard when I'm by myself, but my lovely assistant helped me earlier so we could play the keyword game. She's still working on shipping, poor thing. I pulled her away from shipping to come up with a live, so it's gonna take her a while. On the aesthetics question, I live in a province where there's a lot of vintage stuff. I know Cayley talks about hobo chic, log and look, Regency core, prairie core. Where do you find all these cores? Honestly, Isabella, I would just Google cottagecore images and see what pops up, and see kind of what the trend is, what those look like. I actually have a folder on my computer of like basic styles, and like I just kind of have gotten in a routine of what those look like. But that's where I would start. Go to Google, search hobo chic, and just go to Google Images and see what pops up and kind of find the trend. I would go to Regency core, prairie core, and search for all of them and see what you come up with. I think that's probably the best thing that you could do to kind of visually see what that style looks like, and to kind of find the factors in it. But as far as like cottagecore, I think of like granny stuff. So like, would my grandma wear it? I think of like crocheted blankets. I think of like a very modern dress, or like we had a crocheted women's like yellow sweater that had like the little baby like flowers embroidered in it, but it wasn't embroidered per se, but they were like crocheted on top. That's the kind of things I think of when I think of like cottagecore. It's very granny-ish, and I don't know, I guess I just knew that because it reminded me of my grandma. But I would say like the best thing you could do is just Google image cottagecore, or like Regency core or whatever. Let's just see if we can search one. Oh, apparently I can't spell Google right now. I could spell Google, but I couldn't spell .com. Cottagecore style. And then let's just go to Google Images. Yeah, so like I literally just Google image this. I'll see if I can turn this around in a second once it. So like here's some of the images that it came up with. It's just very like modern, long length, longer sleeves, modern or like modest neckline. And then I would literally just sit and like click through each one of those photos and see kind of what that looks like. A lot of times they're like tiered. Again, they've got the high neck. They've got most times either half sleeves or longer. And I literally just spend time clicking through all of them to see exactly like what those look like and find what I can see and make myself a list, or make a folder on your computer where you have one for like styles, then you have one for cottagecore, you have them for these different things, and then you can look through those. That's what I would recommend doing. I almost called that stripe pillow ticking. I like it. Thanks guys, I'm glad you like the lives. Enjoy your vacation. Be careful when you go in the water. Lots of sharks and jellyfish. Oh gosh. Well, maybe I'm not swimming now. Maybe I'll just stay on the beach. Good morning from Seattle. That's somewhere else I want to go, Miss Fancy Pants. I want to go to Seattle too. I have like, I don't know, that's like one of my dream places. I'm not sure the increased sales after cross-posting isn't legit. They could program bots to detect it. Maybe that is a thing. I fully believe that it's possible. Do you need my car?
Yeah, I'm going to.
I'll say my keys are in my purse. You're more than welcome to grab them.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry. When we have so much shipping, our woman can't fit them in her car, and she has to take mine. So I'm new to eBay. I watched Cayley's eBay videos both. As of now, I'm using a fixed price. Would you suggest doing an auction at all, or no? I do not do auction at all. We never do auctions. We do occasionally do like a best offer if it's like a really expensive item that we're unsure of how much it's actually going to go for. We price really high and accept offers, but I always just do like a buy it now price, and I would recommend doing so as well. Because what happens if like you end up selling it for really, really cheap? I took your advice and found very low cost of goods. Yeah, I would always start with low things. That's what we kind of talked about the other day. If we were starting new and had to teach somebody to resell, I would tell them to go somewhere that's really cheap and go with some very low cost of goods. Because then if you make mistakes or if you don't sell the item and you have to donate it, you're not losing a bunch of money. We are actually hiring again. So if all of y'all are local, hit us up. We are hiring again and teaching somebody to source for us because we just don't physically have enough time for all the things that we need to get done. And we are planning on hiring for somebody to source. And in that point, we're teaching them to go with really low cost of goods. We'll probably start at the bins, teach them how to source at the bin. So if they make mistakes, we're not out a lot of money. And that's what I would recommend for anybody new to reselling, is making a decently low cost of goods as an option. And that way, if you make mistakes, it's not a big deal. I'm now picking up cashmere, merino wool, alpaca items. Yes. I will pick up cashmere and alpaca items pretty much even if I can't find comps on them, as long as they're in great condition and they're not just like Joe Schmo El Cheapos. But heck, even those, like we found a halogen women's 100% cashmere like duster cardigan that literally comes for like $50. And like I wouldn't have thought of that as being like a higher end brand. Like I passed on it at the bin so many times, and like in all actuality, like it's pretty good. So it's worth checking everything just to see if it does have a good follow through or a good sell through rate. No worry, Isabella. I get you. I feel you. I found a mistake in shipping and a listing that kept it from selling. Proofreading definitely helps. You are right. Sometimes it's an issue with shipping. Sometimes it's an issue with like a listing. Sometimes we have something that's like marked an extra large and the tag says it's a large and we just like messed up when we were listing. Sometimes it is something along the lines of like an image. I had a guy reach out about a pair of Prada pants that looked like it had a stain on the leg, and it was literally just like a shadow in the light that made it look like there was a stain that wasn't there, and he wasn't confident in purchasing because he wasn't sure. So always proofread, look over your photos, make sure you're not missing something. Yeah, Bugsy brings up a good point. You could always end the listing and relist it. You would be losing the watchers on that, but it would look like a new active item, which is good. You could always do that as well. You can check my desk too. They might be sitting right there on top. Okay. You're fine. I don't care. I just wasn't sure where they were. Look for college sweatshirts. Those are really good too, especially around the corner. Those are really coming back. People are wearing them as like almost like dresses sometimes, as like really oversized like sweater dresses. You can get those. Collegiate core is good. Academia is good. Dark academia. What do you mean for sizing on vintage? Based on my I live in a vintage province. I took your advice and found very low cost of goods at garage sales or clearance racks in my local thrift store. Thank you so much. Yeah, so sizing for vintage is different than what sizing is today. You can actually just generically search sizing on vintage t-shirts, but the sizing is a little bit different because people's bodies are a little bit different now. But one thing I look for is, depending on the item, an item that might be vintage small there might be a lot out there, but if you haven't like a 3X or like a larger size, it might still be worth picking up even if the small necessarily isn't, because a lot of larger people have a harder time finding items that fit them and will primarily look online. They can't just go somewhere and pick something up a lot of times. Cayley and I've had this conversation a lot. We've experimented with a lot of like plus size things lately. Like for me, I have a pair of jeans. I know that they fit the way that I want them to. I'm going to go online. I'm going to go to eBay and I'm going to buy every single pair of them that I can find because I know that they fit me the way that I want them to. I've done that. So if any of y'all find any of my jeans, let me know. I'll buy them off of you. But same thing happens with vintage. You want to make sure that you are not only searching the item with what's on it, but also the size that's on it, because sometimes a small might not do well, but then an extra large might do well, and the sizing does vary. So if the size is listed as say a small on the shirt, listed as a small, I always put a note in there that says, like, vintage sizing does tend to be smaller. Please verify measurements to ensure a good fit. If it doesn't have a size at all, a lot of people will just Google like a men's, I don't know, 24 across and then length, and they'll say, okay, this is a medium, when in turn a medium now might have been a large back then. So you have to make sure when they don't have a tag, which a lot of vintage tags may have already been ripped off. You want to make sure you are always verifying sizes with the vintage sizing charts. So I would encourage to do that, but always list with exactly the size from the tag, but then make sure to include measurements and make sure that you include that it is a vintage item and that the sizing may vary. I found a Zuzka painted leather jacket, vintage, very cool looking. I'm not sure what to do list or not because it has some flaws. If you've already spent the money on it, list it. You've already paid for it. Or if you haven't paid for it, maybe then debate. But if you've already paid the money for it, I would absolutely list it. Like, just make sure that you include those flaws. If it is vintage and it is rare, it's worth risking. You might have to take a lower offer on it, but it's worth attempting to sell it because you've already got it up and going. So Joe, I was just going based on what I've seen. Cottagecore and grannycore I would call very similar. I did search cottagecore specifically when I was looking at that style, and I would say that it is tiered. It is also like high necked. Grannycore would be more of those, like I said, those like embroidered flowers and things like that, in my opinion. And that's, again, my opinion. I think grannycore and cottagecore could be pretty similar. There are some overlaps with a lot of these cores that I think can kind of leave some ambiguity in between. But again, it's just kind of up to the way that you see them or the way that you interpret them. I think some people would pick up an item and be like, I do not see this keyword in it. But then once you see it that way, you're like, oh, okay, makes a little bit of sense. So, Gigi, reveal the flaws in photos and description. It'll sell if it's really cool. Yeah, a lot of the things I pick up, I look for, and I'm like, this looks really wacky. I'm just going to risk it for the biscuit. And like, literally we sell 90% of them just because they're really odd. But yes, always reveal the flaws in your photos and your descriptions. You have to, otherwise you're going to ship it and then they're going to want to send it back because it's damaged or whatever. Patchwork Vintage Co. brings up a good point. Good job, Hannah, for talking about Pinterest is another good option. You could Google search or Pinterest. You're right, Joe. That's a good idea. Would you just tell your new hires to watch YouTube videos, instant training? We've actually talked about creating a YouTube training program for any new resellers that would include videos and like active activities. We just haven't made it that far yet, but that would be really cool because we thought that would be a good opportunity for doing kind of like a training course for them. And if we were going to make them for them, why wouldn't we make them like active for everybody? So we've talked about doing that, hopefully soon. Do you girls consider trying the new app, Whatnot? I have not tried it yet. You guys have probably heard me say it many times. I'm not very tech savvy at all when it comes to new apps. I let Cayley try them and then tell me what we're using because, yeah, you're right. Cayley could definitely, they could watch the thrifting videos to see what we watch. We'll probably have them start with photos first so they see the brands that we're bringing in and kind of have an idea of what we're bringing in and then hit the thrift stores with them. But Cayley and I will be splitting for like probably a month and a half so that I can go with them every day and teach them how to source. So wish me luck because I will miss my work wife. Good morning from Denver. Thank you for all the great information. Thank you for joining us, Nurse with a Purse. Joe, when you're listing your vintage, do you list it as a size, tag, or what measurements? I listed on Poshmark as what it measures, but I'm nervous about doing the same on eBay. We talked about that already. Yes, Isabel, spot on because it is more substantial. There's more fabric to it. It fits more people. Plus, a lot of people will cut and alter like vintage shirts. So like they might cut the sides and tie them, or they might like end up slashing them to like make them into something more like modern or more like grungy. And the more material they have to do that with, the more likely they are to purchase it as well. Do you guys ever source for buy, sell, trade, consignment stores? Do you have any advice? We do not source for buy, sell, trade, or consignment stores. We only source for eBay. We do source from some consignment stores, but we do not. We actually had a conversation at one point. We had a mom and pop shop here that was selling a lot of like American Eagle and stuff like that. And we were looking at maybe being able to just like go to the bins and pick up a bunch of like the American Eagle stuff and take it and sell it. But in all actuality, they were only offering like $5 for a lot of them, and we would have been paying almost $2 at the bin. So like $3 an item for us just didn't justify the amount of time that it would have taken us to get that. So for us, it didn't seem worthwhile. I know there are a lot of people that specifically go to the bins and then they like pick things up and take them to Plato's Closet or places like that. We have not done that, but I do know quite a few people who do. And that's always an option for you guys. So I hope that that helps. I'm a new seller on Posh and figuring out price, especially when you can't find comps. I'm thinking about selling on eBay. Can you talk about it? Do you ship on eBay? Do you pay shipping on eBay? What area are you in? I love sourcing. I love sourcing too. I get tired when we do it 4 days a week, but we also do it like 9 hours for 4 days a week. And I traveling gets long sometimes, but I do love sourcing. A new seller. So let's talk about questions first. When you can't find comps on Posh, I start with comps. I comp everything on eBay. So I start with eBay. I will comp the solds versus, or pre-owns versus sold, what's available versus what's not. And then I take an average of the price. So say I get $25. So then I convert that to Posh. I typically add, if it's under $40, $5. Once I hit $40, I add $10. Once it is over 100, then I kind of judge how much over 100 and we go from there. But I would start with comps from there. If you can't find a comp at all, use your best judgment. So is there any other, what kind of brand is it? Is it a high dollar brand? Is there anything remotely similar? If you don't know, use your best judgment and guess. See where you want to be. If I don't know, I do my best judgment and guess. I always shoot a little bit higher because then I know I can accept offers. The one thing to think about on Posh is that you are accepting offers. eBay tends to be like a buy it now price. People can still give you offers or send you offers, but Posh kind of makes you do that, I guess, kind of compromise back and forth on pricing. And I would say to include that in your price on Posh. If you're thinking about selling on eBay, I will tell you it is probably one of the most difficult platforms to learn. Posh, I think, is pretty easy. It's very cut and dry. There's less like buttons, I guess, to click and have to navigate through. But I prefer eBay. eBay is one of the larger platforms to sell on. I think a lot of people use eBay because it is older. It's been around for a while. It's easy to navigate. And I would say it is worthwhile. We do not pay shipping on eBay. We do calculated shipping. So we have a scale. We physically weigh every single item that we're going to ship out. We have the measurements of the packages that we know we're going to put them in, and it'll calculate that based on where the buyer is purchasing from. So it tells them exactly what they're paying. We do offer free returns just because we have found that more people are likely to purchase items if they know that if it doesn't fit, that they can send it back to us. And honestly, it doesn't really cost us anything in the long run because we just get it back. It auto relists, or we click relist in the refund process, and then it just goes back in a bin for somebody else to purchase. We haven't seen any issues in that. If you can afford to do it, I would recommend to do it. We are in Ohio. We never say specifically where in Ohio, but we are in Ohio. And I do think that it is, I don't know, I've heard Ohio is one of like the better, I've done some Googling. I hear Ohio is one of the better states to source in, which kind of surprised me, but we are in Ohio. So Sharon, if you're anywhere near Ohio, let us know. Maybe we'll cross paths with you and we can talk. I'd like to like actually meet some of y'all in person, like somewhere at some point, but it's hard because I don't know where a lot of you guys are at. A lot of you guys are places I wish I was. Yes, Joe, risk it for the biscuit. That's like one of my trademark signs. I don't know. Gigi, thank you. I'm glad that you guys still enjoy getting on when Cayley isn't here as well, because I don't know. I know I'm not as good as what she is. I definitely do not have as much time in reselling, but I do have a semi-eidetic memory. So she tells me things mostly once, and then I'm pretty good at remembering after that. So yes, thank you so much for providing so much value. We appreciate it. I appreciate you guys. I liked all your hearts. Those were cute. Totally love and appreciate your trading live videos. So valuable. I'm super late, jam it. I was wondering if you guys have noticed a dip in sales. Patricia, yes, we have noticed a slight dip in sales. I'm a firm believer though that I think it happens because of something that we've done, not just randomly per se. I can tell you mine's probably because I've sucked at cross posting on Posh. I think I'm like 300 items behind right now. Myself and my woman were sick this week. We both didn't feel good last week, and Cayley was out of town, so she took the day off and I worked solo. And I didn't get as much done as what I wanted to, but I got quite a bit done, and Posh was unfortunately one of those things that kind of fell off the face of the planet. So I think that has something to do with it, but it's also almost August and we're literally dead summer. More people are outside, they're swimming, they're taking vacations, they're saving money to go on trips. I think once September hits, people are going to start realizing the holidays are pretty close. Once we get through Labor Day, I would anticipate seeing an increase in sales for not just us, but hopefully for you guys as well. With fall and winter approaching, how do you do comps since the last 90 days have probably been a lot of fall and winter, not been a lot of fall and winter sales? This is a good point. So let's talk about that transition, okay? So every transition from warm to cold or cold to warm, your sales are not gonna, or the comps are not gonna reflect how many questions I guess they're not going to reflect how many items are out there actively being sold. So say for instance, like coats, right? I don't know who the heck is buying a coat in in the middle of summer. Now I will tell you, not everywhere that we ship to is it hot. So you might see that we're selling things that are winter related for places like Canada where maybe it's cold right now, or Alaska, or things like that. We sell hundreds of Hawaiian shirts to Hawaii or California when it's dead cold here in the winter. But there's always outliers. So we talked about this going into spring from summer. Let's talk about like the amphibian. I can't think. Quicksilver amphibian shorts. I came across some at a store in like February, and they were not comping well. I got them anyways because I knew last year they were like incredible and that they had a really good sell through rate. They didn't sell for much, but I knew that they would sell really quick. I got them anyways. Things like cashmere, you know, are probably going to sell. Alpaca, we talked about that earlier, is probably going to sell. Angora rabbit hair, probably going to sell. You have your like staple brands that you relied on last year. I would still pick those up. I wouldn't go away from picking up things that you know last year were like 100% good, like more than 100% sell-through rate. I would be careful on the things you're not sure of. Last summer we could pick up like Eddie Bauer Travex nylon pants all summer long. This year they're not good, not at all. We could pick up some Columbia last year. It was pretty bread and butter. It was good. This year, not at all. And had I been picking those things up winter into spring, I really would have screwed us with too many of those items. So just try to stick with things that you know are 100% going to sell. I would definitely focus on like coats. I would focus on alpaca, cashmere, silk still. I would focus on Angora rabbit hair, anything that you think is pretty substantial. I would say if it's cheap enough, you could get it. I wouldn't overstuff your closet with those things. But honestly, Joe, most times you're going to see kind of a stagger in that transition. So there's going to be a few week period where the thrift stores are switching things over as well, and they're moving into coats and things as well, and typically that's after it begins starting getting cold. So by that time you should have at least some basis of some of those items being sold within like the last couple of weeks. But honestly, it's just kind of a shot in the dark. You just kind of have to guess based on your best knowledge, and do that for 2 to 3 weeks, get into a position where you feel kind of comfortable, and then you'll start seeing those comps pack back in, and you'll be able to get a little bit better at that. But honestly, the first couple weeks is just kind of a guessing game based on what you sold the year previously, and hoping to God that it works out. What on earth is JoJo Siwa aesthetic? She's a ballet dancer, if I'm not mistaken. Abby's Dance Co. or something. JoJo Siwa is very think Pride. She wears a lot of like rainbow. If you do not know JoJo Siwa, she is like a kids like motivational hip hop singer in a way. I don't think she does ballet, but I could be wrong. I don't know her from that side at least. My daughter loves her. She's very like pop girl singy. And she just recently came out as, I think, being gay, maybe bisexual. So she's been focusing a lot on like rainbow and like pride colors. So I would say if you're thinking like JoJo Siwa aesthetic, you could get something that's like multicolored or rainbow. She has these huge, like she calls them JoJo bows. And when I say huge, I mean like take like Minnie Mouse, take over your whole head bow. That's been one of her like style techniques. Lately, and I definitely think that that's worthwhile as well. That's kind of what I would look for. She does wear a lot of like tutus and like frilly like fit and flare kind of dresses and things like that. Jean jackets, embroidered jean jackets, because I think she's into like patches and things like that as well. So you're in Louisville, Kentucky. So maybe we'll take a trip to Kentucky soon, Sharon. We've gone there sourcing a couple of times. I plan on going to Kentucky actually this summer at some point to probably go to the zoo, do fun things like that, but I don't know when yet. Maybe we can cross paths. Missouri, Wisconsin. Welcome, guys. Thank you, guys. I appreciate your kind words. You guys are nice. BC Enterprise, I see you retracted your message. I did read it briefly as it popped up. I appreciate you taking that off. I don't know if you're posting something else in response to that, but I did see where you're from, and I can tell you we are on the same trend. So we can definitely get together at some point, and probably do coffee or something if you'd like. I did see that, and that'd be fun. I'm not sure where exactly you are in Columbus, but we do tend to shop in that general vicinity of up north Ohio at some point. And you could definitely shoot me an email. Maybe we could cross paths, but I would prefer you not to drop it in the chat exactly where you are, because that could be dangerous for you. So send us an email. Maybe we can get coffee sometime. Probably not next week because, like I said, I'll be on vacation, and Cayley doesn't like meeting people when I'm not with her. But we could definitely do the following week if you're free. Send us an email. It's that welltraveled@gmail.com if you're still on BC Enterprise. I like your comp question, Joe. Nikki, when do you guys start to source for fall, winter? Do you guys have a bin you throw your stuff into? We will probably start sourcing for fall stuff like come September, if I had to guess. We try to get like a little bit ahead of it. It'll still be pretty warm where we are in September, but probably September is what I would say. We will have a bin that we tend to put some things in, but honestly, we'll probably start listing them pretty quickly because we want to be ahead of that trend where our items are one of the first ones listed as we're moving into that season. We're typically about a week behind. I think I showed you guys our bins earlier. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I think like 10 bins of stuff that's ahead. We're about 300 items ahead from where we need to be right now. And we'll obviously go through all of our summer stuff first and then make that transition, but probably September. I've been on Poshmark and eBay for 2+ months. I've made 0 sales on Poshmark, but I've sold 1 thing on eBay. I need to upload more, but I get no offers or anything on Posh. Send offers. If you're getting any likes, Patricia, on any of your items on Poshmark, send offers. Send 10% offers. If it's a $30 item, it's $3. It's definitely worth sending it. I would definitely do it as well. Posh question: when you check comps, do you switch the folder to just shared to just in? Isabella, I do not do comps on Posh to like ever, unless it's like absolutely horrible on eBay. But most times I don't even mess with it. I just move on. I would say you would probably do just in versus just shared, but honestly, I don't think it really makes much of a difference. I would stick with eBay comps in my personal opinion, unless you have nothing to do with eBay. If you are only on Posh, then you could. But if you list on eBay, I would stick with eBay and then cross post as to Posh as like a secondary platform. If you're only on Posh, I would say I would, yes, do just in versus just shared. One busy mama, literally our assistant and I had this conversation this morning that like I don't know, my whole life is winging it at this point. I just open my mouth and whatever comes out. Sometimes that's a curse and sometimes it's great. I have to think a little bit more when we're on live YouTube because I tend to swear like a sailor occasionally. When I say occasionally, I mean most days, but I think about it a little bit more when I'm on YouTube. But honestly, like I appreciate bluntness and straightforwardness, and I know not all of you guys appreciate that. For me, I've gotten some pretty interesting comments recently, and I'm just kind of rolling with it at this point. But one thing you guys will tell me is that, or you'll never be able to tell me, is that I'm not genuine or that I'm not straightforward, that I'm not just down to the point, because I can waste your time and like hold your hand and coddle you, but I think sometimes y'all are here because you just need a kick in the butt, and I need a kick in the butt sometimes. So I like to just be straightforward, and I hope sometimes that's logical. Other times I can be a squirrel brain. But are you sharing your closet on Poshmark? How many items do you have listed? Don't be discouraged. Keep at it. Yes, Bugsy. Thank you. That's so great. Yeah, definitely stick with it. Bugsy's definitely right. Share your closet. How many times are you sharing it a day? How many items do you have listed? We share ours once a day, but before that we were doing 3 times a day. With Posh or VA, we can only do so many, otherwise they realize we have a robot and they'll kick us out. So we try not to do that, but keep sharing your closet. Definitely keep active on it. If you're not listing every day, you're not gonna like boost your algorithm. So I would list it. Isabella, yes, you talk about aesthetics. You could pretty much put a core after anything and it would probably exist. So please talk more on calculated shipping. So you say that in the ad. How do you communicate with buyers on their location and then tell them to ship them out? What payment method do you take on eBay? So Sharon, we just select calculated shipping on eBay. We don't even have to talk to the customer at all. So what happens is like they search an item and they say, okay, I find this item, it's ours, they're going to buy it. It'll tell them like the item's $25 and then shipping plus $5 or whatever shipping. eBay will auto calculate that based on what their shipping zip code is in eBay for them. We don't have to reach out to them. We don't have to do anything on it. It automatically tells them that shipping is calculated. And we don't have to do anything extra with that. We just select that when we're creating the listing. So we don't have to communicate that with the buyer at all. It tells them how much the item is from the moment that they look at it. So they're not going to see that it's $25 with no idea of shipping. It's going to say $25 plus X amount dollars shipping. And then payment methods, we follow all the payment methods that eBay does. I think they do PayPal, they do any form of card that they do, and I there might be a couple other ones, but honestly I'm not super familiar. I've legitimately never bought anything off eBay in my life, so I'm pretty sure that you can pay with lots of different methods, but we only follow what eBay pays. Maybe some of y'all who have bought things off of eBay your own can help, but my comps for fall winter, I was also looking up pricing. Yeah, pricing can be a little bit hard too if you don't have the comps behind it. Again, it's kind of a guessing game. We just shoot in the dark. Like we picked up an REI men's coat. It was a down coat. It was an extra large, and there were no comps for them, but we knew they were good. I knew I had previously sold one in the year before for like $100, so I marked it like $10 to $15 cheaper, and then it sold within like a week. So it's honestly just kind of a memory game, and you kind of just have to shoot in the dark and hope it works. I always say shoot high and accept offers, because it's better than sitting on it. But those are things you want to keep an idea of. So ballet court is a thing. I don't have a lot posted yet because I got discouraged. I keep trying to figure out Posh. I keep following and trying to share for people. I have a lot of good stuff to post still. So Patricia, don't get discouraged. Definitely just keep posting, keep listing. If you ever have questions, you can always shoot us an email and say, like, this is my specific question. I know that these lives can get a little long and you guys have a lot of questions. Sometimes it's easier to just like sit and type it out. I'm always willing to like type an email back out and respond. Just try to give me as much detail as what you can specifically. But one of the biggest things is being constantly active on your Poshmark. It actually tells your buyers how active you are. We do also, Patricia, offer Poshmark and eBay closet or store reviews. So if you really want some help, we do offer those. I think we still have some listed. I haven't had any this week to do. So if you guys are interested, you can always purchase one of those and we can go over. I try to be very specific about your closets, to give you some ideas, but it's hard to tell without specifically looking at your closet. Don't worry about following people or sharing other people's items. Share your own closet, correct. Sharing your own item is one of the best things you can do on Posh, correct. Yeah, patchwork. I think people are really starting to go into fall season, so I think we'll start seeing that come up. What about back to school in August? Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to see back to school stuff coming potentially. We don't sell kids clothes really, so I would say we won't see a whole lot of uptick in that, as far as like younger kids stuff. But if you do have younger kids stuff, I could see an increase in that coming. But anything of like our school aged items we might see going, stuff for high schoolers and things like that. Don't forget, if you haven't hit the thumbs up button, to hit the thumbs up button. I would appreciate it. Anywho, I know you and Cayley have a system in place, something like $5 cost of goods for a $35 return or something to that extent. I've heard you mention it in passing. Would you please clarify what each tier is? So I believe like 5 into 25, 10 into 40. So that'd be $5. I would pay $5 for anything that goes from $25 to like $39. And then once it hits $40, I would pay $10 for anything $40 to probably like maybe like 70, 75. And then beyond that, I would say then it's kind of a case-by-case basis. But I would say I'd probably pay $20 for something that would sell for like $100 or more. That's kind of a rough idea. We do look at each specific thing, but most things we purchase are between $5 and $10. We do occasionally splurge outside of that, but we typically don't see a whole lot of that unless it's something really odd. Occasionally we'll splurge and get like a pair of pants. For us, our Goodwill's $6.99 is what a pair of pants costs here. We'll pick up something for $6.99 that we'll sell for $30, even though technically it's not the next threshold, but it's a pair of jeans we feel pretty confident about. But that's roughly what our tiers look like for Isabella. Bugsy, thanks for all your help today. I appreciate you. You and Joe have like really been keeping this chat going when I've been really behind. I'm glad that this was motivating for some of you guys. Is the office a core? Like I have some kids to sell on Posh. Should I add the office core to the description like Pam Beasley, helper approved kids? I mean, you totally could. Like if you know that that's going to help sell your item, I would definitely put like that person, put like Pam Beasley, and then you could put like the office. We had some kids too, but ours were like collabs with the rifle company. So we made sure to include that. Gigi, thanks for getting on. I'm so glad that you were here. See you next time. I like that you found the heart emoji, so that made my heart happy. All right, does any of you guys have any other last minute questions? Good morning, Molly, thanks for hopping on. You're catching the end of us, so sorry. And if you guys have any other last minute questions, concerns, complaints that you'd like to ask before I go finish the things I came in to do today. If not, give a thumbs up before you guys decide to kick off for the day. I appreciate you guys joining me, even though it's just me. I know it's way more fun when Cayley's here, but she shall be back Monday to do a live with you. So, do you ever use a suggested price on either platform? We do not. Nope, I don't pay any attention to it at all. Not at all. Thanks, Patricia. Thank you so much. Have a good week. Thank you. Absolutely. Thank you guys for getting on today. I appreciate you guys. If you guys have any questions that I missed today, or if you guys have any specific videos I didn't write down, definitely shoot us an email so I don't forget, because otherwise I'll forget. So I do have this in my shared drive with Cayley, so I will leave it for her while she comes back. Isabel, yes. So I do 5 into 25. I would say 5 into 25 to say up to 40, but not including 40. And then I would say $10 from $40 to probably like 70 to 80. And then for me, I wouldn't spend $20 or more on an item unless it got over $100. So I might pay somewhere between 10 and 20 if it was between that 80 and $100. But that's about this. Thanks, Sharon. Definitely make sure you guys follow, because then it'll notify you guys when we do lives. We do lives every Monday at 9 a.m. We typically commit to doing them for an hour, but it's supposed to be a half hour, but we typically commit to an hour, but we always end up going over because y'all have questions and I love spending time with you guys. So I'm glad you guys were here. 9 a.m. Monday mornings. Isabella, let me know if you didn't get those tiers again. I know I kind of went over that kind of quick. Okay, there's no more questions temporarily, so I gave it a minute to think. I will see you guys not next week, but the following week. Cayley will be back on Monday. She can talk to you guys about some other things, and I will see you guys later. So I hope you guys have a good week. Make lots of money. Enjoy your week. And I will see you guys later. Have a good day.